All right, I've been looking forward to this interview all morning. I want to introduce you to Stanley James II, who was known on the streets as Babyface. Now, not only was he in a gang, but he and a rival gang member from Long Beach have not just changed their lives, but the two of them have joined forces through their incredible love of writing. Stanley, welcome to Wake Up Call this morning.
Thank you. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for getting up dark and early with me.
No, no worries. I'll be up this time. I'm an early bird.
Oh, good. Okay, well, you're better than I am. I don't know if I'd be up this early if I didn't have the gig. That's for darn sure. So please, if you don't mind, walk me back and tell me about yourself, because I was reading your bio. That in and of itself should take up a whole segment.
Right. Well, pretty much you already introduced me. I'm Stanley James, also known as Babyface. I'm pretty much from the north side of Long Beach, on the West Coast in California. I grew up here my whole life, so it ain't too much. It's a lot going on.
You were a member of the Crips, right?
Yes, Four Corner Block.
Okay, so your life as a gang member, a lot of us can't even imagine what a life like that is like. Can you put it in a nutshell? I assume that you are literally looking over your back and fighting for everything on a minute-to-minute basis.
You are absolutely correct. Pretty much, and summed up in so many words, it's the roller coaster. You're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs, but you're going to have a lot of downs more than ups in this gang-banging world, which is contagious. Our culture is contagious around the world, so a lot of people see like the good side, the perks, the fun, the woman, the money, but they don't really see the murders, the funerals, the drugs, the drug abuse, the physical abuse. So they just see like with the movie base, like the glamour lifestyle of this gangbanging culture.
How'd you end up in a gang? How old were you?
I was about 12, 13 when I ended up, but like the way I grew up in my section in North Long Beach is I pretty much was born and raised here. So the gang was here before me. So I just pretty much was born into it.
How old were you when you got out of it, and what was that one thing that either helped you get out, or was there a person, or what was it?
Well, for me, it ain't so much of getting out; it's just getting older. Like I tell everybody, I'm a gang member. There's a difference, and I tell everybody that's like on the outside looking in at our culture. There's two different type of people in the street world: is gang bangers and gang members. Gang bangers is the ones that you see on the poster boys for the gang banging world. The ones you see on the corners, the ones you see tagging. Pretty much everything you see as a gang banger is what it is. Now the difference between a gang banger and a gang member is someone that already been through the trials and tribulations, someone that already seen the outcome and the end of the game. So a gang member job is the one that's older, that's working, that's trying to guide these young kids onto a path where they don't necessarily have to walk through, which I already did. So that's why I try to tell everybody there's a difference between a gang member and being a gang banger.
Okay, I want to go into how you end up going from a gang banger to a gang member to an author. How in the world does that transpire?
Right. Well, after all the years I put in, like I said, I've been gang banging since I was 12, 13, and I'm 31 now. So after a while, and after so many jail stints I've been through, and like just observing all my friends that's like leaving this world through the grave or through the penitentiary fast at a rapid pace, it made me just sit down and realize and analyze what I've been doing like for the last 10 years. And like, where is it going to lead me into? Where has it led me to now? So my last jail stint, I was sitting there with an OG. He was in there since the 70s. He was in jail since I wasn't even born.
Wow.
And he just really sat me down and just kept fed spooning me a game about life and making me think. So when I got out, that's when it really hit me hard, when I lost all my friends, some of my best friends, to a murder. And it made me really sit back and think like, wow, I need to change it up because I was supposed to be me. So that's how it really came through my transition. And through the books, I always been a fan of writing. I always was a writer. I always wrote poetry. I always wrote songs. So when I was in jail with my OG, I used to always write these short stories. And then when we get to the yard and to the theater, I used to pass all my short stories around. And then that's when all the inmates had me write short stories and poems for they ladies and for their kids and whatnot. So then once I figured out, like, damn, if I could get everybody in the jail rocking with me with my books and with my stories and my poems, maybe I could really get outside and do something like for real, do it for real as a real career. So that's how my career started.
And forgive me, I mean, no disrespect when I say this, but I don't think I ever imagined a gangbanger goes to jail, ends up in jail with another former gang member. The two of them sit down and come to this realization that there is something else out there. And while you are in jail, you decide, you know what, I can do something for the greater good. I don't know what I expect goes on in the yard, but I don't expect that somebody comes out and is passing out their short stories to people. I mean, that to me is unfathomable.
And one thing I tell everybody within them jails, it's a very lot of smart people that shouldn't be there. There's a lot of people in there that you think didn't have the capability of using a mind for the greater good instead of doing it for harm. And there's a lot of them across the board.
And you are a proof positive of that. I mean, the fact that you are in there in such a situation, in such a world, that to me is just incredible. Now, how in the world? So you're in jail. You start writing these short stories. You get out. How in the world did you end up partnering with a rival gang member when it comes to writing? How does that even work?
Well, when I got out, I was writing before I partnered with my boy Trayvon, who was the rival. He's from 20's Crip. Before I partnered with him, I've been writing and taking my career seriously for the last 6 years before I even sat down with him and noticed that he started writing. It's been a while because he's been a writer too. And it's like when two black men, when other than if you're not acting street or acting tough, it's kind of hard for us to show our feelings and be vulnerable in those type of aspects of writing poetry. So it's not easy for us to just go to the next person like, man, I'm an author, I'm a poet, can you check me out? Like in reality, your homeboy's gonna laugh at you. Like, come on, bro, we got drugs to move, we got to go gangbang, we got other stuff to do. So just coming out that shell alone is like one of the greatest defeats on in life. So when they found out, they accepted it. I knew what you did. I knew your history. So I want you to do something positive. That's what my homeboys took to me. So then years later, after I started taking my writing was taking off. I noticed Trayvon was like on the same thing with me. So he was like writing, but it was low key, but he was like taking it serious. So once I really sat down and like just analyze our future and like, man, if we could gangbang, if we could go ride on each other, go shoot at each other, go harm each other, why we can't grow up and get money together? Why we can't show these gangbangers another way? So that's how me and Trayvon really came by. I seen him writing with one book, and I seen him hustling. He was hustling it. He just didn't have all the resources in that, which I do have. So then we just had a long talk and just sit there like, man, I'm dead sleep, so let's get to it.
I'm looking through some of the books that you have. The Bust, Live and Die by the Gun, which was published by No Breaks out of Los Angeles. That
was actually my very first book, which is loosely based on my life.
Okay, well, that one I definitely want to read because you are one of the most fascinating interviews I've ever had. And then what's the collaboration that you did with Trayvon?
Project Baby. And we were just on the news. The ABC News just aired our segment for Project Baby.
And he's moved right to Florida, but are you guys still in contact and still collaborating?
Every day. He moved to Florida and started a vegan company. And one thing because I also signed other authors. I got two other authors named Dion Hall, which is Blackbird and Bread. He got a poetry book. And then I also got a OG from Venice Shoreline. His name is James Sawyer, which I also published his book, which is called Addicted. And I got two more other books. So I also try to publish other authors from the art street element. So that's one goal of mine when I got out of jail is to give people that was in the same situations as me an opportunity which they never had. So that's one of the reasons why I started my publishing company.
So, Stanley, tell me how people can get in touch with you. How can I find your books? Because I definitely want to read them, especially the one that is loosely based on your story. I need to know more about you. That's the bottom line.
That's what everybody wants to say. Everybody says you can find my books everywhere, though. I'm everywhere. I'm in the streets. I'm in Barnes and Noble, Walmart, Target. Pretty much, where a book could be sold, I will be there. If you can find books sold under a rock.
Giving you a huge hug because you are one of the most inspirational interviews I've done in a long time.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I kind of had a feeling you would be, and boy, you just exceeded my expectations. You're amazing.
My father listens to you guys' radio station every morning. That's why it's an honor to be on your radio station.
Oh my gosh, you tell your dad that I said it's an honor for me to know he listens. So thank you very much for that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, take care and best of luck to you.
Thank you. You too, Miss Lady.
All right, thank you. See you later. That is Stanley Babyface James II.